Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at Etrailer, and today we're taking a look and installing the Curt 7-way trailer wiring on a 2021 Cadillac XT6. Now this kit is going to give you the 7-way that's going to plug into a factory port, but unless you have the factory tow package, you're going to be limited to only 4 poles. And what that means is you're still going to get light functions on your trailer, so running lights, turn signals, and brake lights, but because we don't have the factory tow package, there's a separate plug on here that normally would plug in to give you brake output for a brake controller, which makes that a lot easier. So if your vehicle doesn't have that factory tow package, but you still want a 7-pole to plug into your trailer, this is a great option. Now, if you're towing something that doesn't have brakes, that has 4-pole wiring, highly recommend getting the Curt kit that is for 4-pole and not the 7. Because this kit has the 7-pole and that plug, it makes it super easy to just snap into place, and I recommend doing it when you have the fascia off and installing your hitch. You can still do it without taking the entire fascia off if you're doing it after the fact. But something that's curious is they don't include a bracket for the 7-pole, nor do they give you a way to attach it to your hitch. So you may need to pick up a short no-drill bracket as well as a 7-pole bracket to get this accomplished. But at the end of the day, if you have that 7-way trailer function, again, you'll be getting just the light functions in this configuration. But overall, super easy. It's truly just plug and play on this vehicle, and I'll show you how to get it done. To get our wiring installed on our Cadillac is not hard to do. We have our fascia taken off because we just installed our hitch, and I highly recommend doing it at the same time. It makes it a lot easier to route everything and make it clean. It can be done without taking the fascia off, but in order to show you exactly what we're doing without a fascia in the way, I'll show you how to get this installed. So pretty easy. We have a plug that's going to match up to our factory style plug. And some vehicles are prepped for brake output, so if you're using the 7-pole for braking functions on a brake controller, you may or may not have a separate plug for that. Ours today, we don't. So we're going to be just using the 4-pole end. We're still going to get all the same functions as far as running lights, turn signals, and brake lights, but we won't have that brake controller output. So in order to get this plugged in, we're going to want to find our plug that's going to be located right in this portion. And you may need to kind of wedge a screwdriver in there to get this locking tab back. But once we get our dummy plug out, all we need to do is plug in our wiring and we'll be ready to rock. And once you have that tab pulled back, you'll just push down until you can get the dummy plug to pop out. So we'll get this plugged in, we'll get our locking tab put back in place, and as I mentioned, normally there's another plug that's located here. If you were to get that 7-pole function, it should match up to this. We don't have that, so I can zip tie this up out of the way, and then the rest of it just comes down to routing this to a good spot to where we're going to have access to our plug when that fascia panel is taken down. So getting this mounted up, you can use a long bracket, which is going to clamp around the hitch and give you a nice solid support for your 7-pole, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. There's really not a great spot to just self-tap the brackets in place, so when getting your 7-pole mounted up, you will need to source the 7-pole bracket as well as a short bracket, which allows you to use a large hose clamp to go around the hitch, and then you can bolt that up. Now, some of them line up perfectly. I would recommend maybe getting a Curt bracket so it lines up. I did have to modify ours a little bit, but having this in place, I went as far over as I could with the welds here, and that's going to allow us to still gain access to our plug, even with that when we open up our access panel, you want to make sure obviously the plug is able to be plugged in, and then the rest of the wire I just zip tied up to the hitch. So that's really what we're looking to do, and really all you need to do from here is test to make sure that it works. And so we'll be using a 7-pole tester. You can use your trailer, and basically we're going to run through the light signals, make sure that everything's working properly. Now, going through our lights, we're going to want to check our running lights, our left turn signal, our right turn signal, as well as our brakes. With all of our fascia put back together, all that's left to do is load up your accessories, put in your pin and clip, and hit the road. Or if you're not using your hitch right away, you can put that panel back in place and it's going to be completely hidden until you're ready to use it. But that's going to do it for a look and installation of the Curt trailer hitch receiver on a 2021 Cadillac XT6.